Welcome to Glorious Botafogo, your number one source of Botafogo news in English. Botafogo fans are living a dream. I don't know if I want to say a once in a lifetime dream, but pretty close to it because I think and I hope that from now on this is going to be the norm for this club, is always fighting for titles, always fighting to be the best among the best. And right now, this club has the chance to be the best club in South America because Botafogo is in the 2024 Libertadores final. If you've been following the channel, especially if you're not a Botafogo fan, but if you've been following the channel, you know that Botafogo beat Peñarol with a historic result at home, 5-0. And then the second leg of that match was played this past Wednesday, and Botafogo lost 3-1 for Peñarol, but won in the aggregate score of 6-3, and it is now in the Libertadores final versus Atlético Mineiro de Galo at the Monumental de Núñez, which is the stadium that Atlético just played at because they beat the home team, River Plate, at the Mineiro at the Arena MRV, and then got the tie at the Monumental de Núñez. So Atletico kind of has the home field advantage, if you want to call it that, because they will play at the Monumental once again for the second match in a row. There was a lot of behind the scenes political stuff going on in the background that that led to this very high anxiety, high pressure, high stakes match versus Peñarol this past Wednesday. If you remember, in the first match, Peñarol fans got into a fight with the locals in Rio de Janeiro after a Peñarol fan stole a cell phone, and then the locals, started to confront the guy, and then it just became this big thing where the police got involved, and 200 plus Peñarol fans got arrested in Rio, and they still are in jail at this time. They missed both legs of the Libertadores match because they destroyed property from people, from regular everyday workers in Rio, guys that work as delivery boys. They burned their motorcycles. Owners of beach kiosks, they destroyed the kiosks. And then at the beach, they were sexually harassing women at the beach and just messing with the locals. And the Uruguayan press turned it around and made it seem like Botafogo fans, to just so you can hear this, so you can see what kind of craziness they thought it was happening. Peñarol fans and the Uruguayan press, they were saying that Botafogo, Flamengo, Fluminense, and Vasco supporters all came together to beat up Peñarol fans. If you can just believe in that nonsense. And that's all it is. It's nonsense in the world where Botafogo, Fluminense, Vasco, and Flamengo fans are going to call a truce. And when we're talking about certain type of ultras in Brazil, we're talking about people kind of tied to criminal activity. Not all of them, obviously. There's just some here and there. But this is the kind of nonsense that was being spun around in Uruguay, saying that it was a trap, that Botafogo and Flamengo fans made a trap and beat up these poor guys from Uruguay, these poor guys from Peñarol that were, just there just to have a good time. It's all a bunch of nonsense. And to top it off, Peñarol's president went on the press and said all kinds of stupid stuff to put the pressure on Botafogo to make it a political thing, to make it a human rights thing. Just so you can see the extent that this has gone to. Absolutely ridiculous. And I hope that CONMEBOL will apply some sort of punishment to Peñarol and its ultras, because I know it's not all Peñarol fans that are like this. I'm sure there are plenty of good people amongst the Peñarol fans, but not the ones that went to Rio. Not majority of them anyways. And then in return, Botafogo fans got death threats. I myself got threatened to get beat up if I went to Uruguay, if I went to that match. Me in the United States got threatened to get beat up or worse if I ever set foot in that Peñarol stadium, which ended up the match got moved to a different stadium because Peñarol president, he could not guarantee the safety of Botafogo fans. They wanted to exclude Botafogo fans from this match. Again, all ridiculous stuff. The match got moved to a bigger stadium, in which Peñarol fans were on one side, Botafogo fans were on the complete opposite side, and thankfully nothing bad happened. The ultras from Peñarol, I forgot the name of the group right now. They were asking other Peñarol fans to not get confrontation because, there was a possibility if Brazilian fans or Botafogo fans were hurt or worse, that those guys in Brazil, maybe they would become some sort of political prisoners or some sort, just so you can kind of see how things escalated to and the level that it escalated to. It's complete out of proportion, mostly to the lies that came from the Peñarol fans that were arrested and the ones that didn't get arrested, and how they spun it around to the press in Uruguay. All a bunch of lies. Botafogo fans are very pacifist. We're not going to look for what reason we do that to Peñarol fans, right? There's no reason why we would do that. So, all bunch of crap. And at the end, Botafogo won. We are through. We are living a dream, and I cannot wait to see. And I hope. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it down to Argentina and be present, but hopefully we win the title and we get to play the World Cup of Clubs here in the United States, and then I will be there. That's for sure. 1 match, 2 matches, I don't know. I'll figure it out. But all I know is I will be present at one of those matches here when Botafogo hopefully wins the Libertadores, conquers the Americas, and comes up. And the cool thing is if Botafogo wins, they will play Pachuca from Mexico on December 11th. And it's going to be another different trophy, an international trophy. And then the World Cup of Clubs, I think it will happen in Qatar. And then the I forget what the name is being called, but the Super World Cup of Clubs that will happen next year here in the United States, 1 year before the actual International World Cup happens here in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. We'll play a derby versus Vasco da Gama. The ticket sales and overall interest have been very low, and I get it because these prices are kind of expensive. The prices for the Libertadores and the trip and the Libertadores final, which Conmebol have announced that the first series of tickets have sold out. I don't know if they're imagining that really that many people are going to go. I think 22,000 tickets per team were allocated, and the first batch is sold out. So there's been a lot of commotion in in social media to try to get some of the more wealthy, very wealthy Botafogo fans to kind of throw some extra money to try to help get these fans to Argentina and pay for the buses, for the trips. There's a lot of that talk going, and I'm all for it. If there's some Botafogo millionaires out there that want to throw out some extra cash. I mean, if this final was going to be in Brazil, for example, at the Newton Santos, those same supporters would have, I know they would have paid a bunch of money to make sure that the party was a one of a kind. So why not make it a one of a kind there in Argentina? Just imagine if we have enough fans to pull off a live mosaic like we have been at the Newton Santos. That would be, oh man, that would be so crazy. That'd be awesome to see. So I hope that is the truth, and I hope that the Botafogo board, Tairo Arruda and John Texter, can talk about and decreasing the price for these tickets for the upcoming matches at home, especially at the Newton Santos, to get the fans supporting the team, to keep that energy up, just to keep everything going, because we're going to need the supporters until the rest of the season. We are well on track to get 2 major titles. I mean, I'm talking major titles. I'm talking about Libertadores, and we're talking about the Brasileirão. So let's try to get the supporters to go to as many matches as we can. Let's bring down those prices to be able to get all the supporters in there. If you haven't liked the video, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and please click on subscribe. Click on subscribe. Click on like so we can get this video out to as many Botafogo fans as possible and fans of the Brazilian league, the Brasileirão, which is right now top 4, top 5 best leagues in the world. I am sure of that, and still to this, like every year, the most competitive league in the world. And to close out the video, in bringing more good news about Botafogo, Luis Henrique and Igor Jesus are back in the seleção. Both of our offensive players, both players will be included in the upcoming World Cup qualifying matches, and I know one of them will be against Uruguay, so that might be a little an interesting match to watch. And in the upcoming list of players that were called, I thought that Gregory and Alex Telles and even John should have been included in that list. They weren't. That's too bad on Dorival's part, because I think they should definitely have been included in that list. That is all for today. I will bring more news probably on Wednesday. Botafogo plays on Tuesday. Probably bringing the result of the Vasco da Gama derby, and more on the ticket sales for the Libertadores and any new information that might come up.